All right, my people, let's get going. Please come to a seated cross-legged position with the leg that is most naturally tucked in tightest. So that leg, you naturally want to pull in closer to its own groin, then settles the other leg closer into that. Find a position in your seated space where you can balance yourself on your sitting bones and your pubic bones. So the perineum, that pitcher's mound of the pelvis, is the central point that you're really balancing your seat on. And hands fold neatly in the lap. You sit with this effortless length in your spine. And close your eyes. And for the first 30 seconds of practice, just position yourself to sit well, and then don't do anything else. So neither deepen your breath, nor stabilize your mind, nor adjust your position, just 30 seconds. Where you create this open-hearted invitation to what is. To the mental state as it is, your emotional state as it is. Your physical state as it is. An open-hearted invitation to arriving just the way you do. And then generate an even in-breath to out-breath, 4, 5, or 6. Passively release any tension of the face. Begin in the Taoist tradition to trace what we call the microcosmic orbit, this feeling of energy that runs up the back of your spine, down the front of your spine, from perineum to pineal, from the base of the pelvis to the midbrain, runs up the back of the spine, down the front of the spine. From perineum, base of the pelvis, up to pineal, middle back brain. Even circular breath. And if you can't feel this pulse within the pulse of the body, imagine it. Visualize this superhighway of light. An even in-breath to out-breath. And for more mental focus, there are 3 pulses happening in the body: the pulse of the breath, the pulse of your heart, and now the pulse of this microcosmic orbit, up the back, down the front. Feel how the body is like this remarkable symphony of bass and treble, heartbeat, drumbeat, wind. And we use our practice as a way of finding tone, attunement, harmony, like the whole symphony in day 5, 4, 5, 6 that each of you are in this cleanse. A symphony where all of the organs begin to coherently, resonantly entrain to the healthiest organ. The pulse, the microcosmic, the smooth breath, the heartbeat, all of the beats of your body begin to entrain out of a frenetic state into a harmoniously grounded state. Next time you land into the base of the pelvis, into the perineum, please stay there. Take 3 to 5 quick little pulses of your pelvic floor, otherwise known as a Kegel. So you really feel that subtle but powerful tone at the base of your body. And then the next time you pulse up, hold up, sit taller through your spine from the power of your pelvic floor engaging, and ever so gently Soften the skin of your forehead to your cheeks. Tone your chin the slightest amount back. And keep the length of your spine as you release the pelvis. Without opening your eyes, switch which leg is crossed in more tightly. Hands stay folded. Perineum all the way to the upper palate of the mouth is this long, beautiful super channel. And then 3 to 5 times, a little pulse of the pelvic floor. Make it subtler, yet feel more pronounced. So there's no grip, it's a little pulse. And then the next time you pulse up, hold there. Feel like the sitting bones close as if they're curtains on a stage. Pubic bone and tailbone energetically magnetized towards one another. And now you have this incredible wellspring of energy, the Kundalini Shakti right at the base of the pelvis, storing, generating, building here. Keep the length of the spine and relax the musculature of the pelvis. Simply sit and keep your even out breath to in breath. Now, last situation here, in the very gentle, subtle way that we're beginning this practice, create one more little lift to the pelvic floor. Sitting bones close like curtains on a stage. Pubic bone, tailbone magnetized to each other. Now see if you can keep that toned lift, lengthen your spine, yet from the core of the pelvis to the skin around your hips, relax. So you keep this incredible magnetic generation of the pelvic floor, your base bandha mula bandha, yet from the core of the pelvis to the skin of the hips, relax, relax, relax. Now release the pelvic floor down. Take your hands towards your heart into prayer position. Lift your heart, bow your head. Whether you're feeling sleepless or sluggish, high or hallucinatory, it does not matter. The observation of the experience is to also know that at day 5, 6, about now, you are growing so sensitive, subtle, respectful of the tender. And so take 30 seconds without my words, but in your words, to set not only the intention for this practice, but for the energy of the day as to how you most want to embody and be supported by the subtle and profound force of your own life. Where does it need to heal? Where can it support? Where can it elevate? Lower your hands, lift your head, open your eyes, turn to face all fours on what is the front of your mat. And as you do this, please activate a quiet ujjayi. And for those of you that are newer to the yoga practice, your ujjayi is like this very gentle contraction in the back of the throat, not dissimilar to what we just did in the pelvis. And typically in ujjayi, it sounds like a slight river moving, but today it's silent, feminine. Begin your cat and cows, the undulation of your spine. And for the first 15, just be in straight linear motion, head up, seat up, head down, seat down. So no lateral creative motion, just articulate, nourish, and hydrate the joints of your spine. Simple, rhythmic, repetitive, silent, feminine ujjayi. And as many of you have been deep in a detox process 4, 5, 6 days in, old acidity, inflammation, and calcification of the joints is going to start to let go. And so as you're in this simple undulation of the spine, see if you can unlock any part of the spine that tends to be too mobile. Next time you pass through center, you're going to start to spin your hips almost like you're tracing the pelvic floor on the wall behind you. And then add in your ribs and head. And in a spiralic winding motion, you're now moving in through cat and cow, yet you're adding this clock or anti-clockwise like spin. Silent Ujjayi. Go the other direction. Start with the hips moving the other direction, and then add in the ribs and head. Silent Ujjayi. Neutralize back to center. Bend your elbows 6 inches out to the side. Take your chest way to the right. Bend your elbows so much your breast moves past the floor. Go over to the left. Straighten your arms, round your back towards the sky. And then like you're scraping the inside of a barrel with your ribs, spin. As if the lungs could push into the ribs could push into the fascia and the skin could push into the clothing. Today, you're going to take up more space. Next time you pass through center, go the other direction. Turn and churn. Silent Ujjayi. These last couple revolutions, know that every organ is wrapped in the connective tissue of fascia, and see if you can get the organs sliding, slipping across one another, unsticking to detox even more. Good. Neutralize. Point your toes back if they're tucked. Sit down on your heels. Sit upright on your heels. Hands down on your thighs in Vajrasana. Look forward at a horizon line. Close your eyes, engage your peripheral vision, and a very gentle contraction of your pelvic floor. Very slow round of Kapalabhati. Release your Ujjayi. Take a full breath in through your nose and a sharp, quick exhale. Inhale fully to my snap. Keep going. Sharp, quick exhale. Your navel pulls to your spine and all old breath is pushed out. You soften your belly so much that all of this breath just floods in. But stay like this, contain your pelvic floor, but relax the skin of your hips. You have 15 more. Five, 4, 3, 2, exhale all of the breath out of your body, empty with breath, engage your pelvic floor, hold empty, sit tall and lengthen all 4 sides of your spine. Generate this imaginary microcosmic orbit where energy moves from your perineum to your midbrain, up the back, down the front, up the back, down the front. We're just going to keep moving the subtle channels. In 5, 4, 3, 2, keep your pelvic floor. Inhale all of the breath into your body. Now hold full, and over your beautiful full lungs, relax. Brighten your face, open your crown energy. 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale and relax. Come forward into all fours. You're welcome to spin your wrists back 90 degrees, as long as the crease of the wrist is perfectly parallel with the front edge of the mat. Inhale, head up, seat up. As you exhale, head down, seat down. In, out, in, out, in, out. No faster than that this morning. This one can have a little sound to it. But as you pump your spine, as you pump the breath, know we're also pumping this orbit of pulse that we first traced from pelvis to brain. The superhighway, the river channel for your Kundalini Shakti to both lift, ground, detoxify, and heal. Keep going. Have a little engagement of your core. 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale, neutralize. Turn the palms of your hands forward if they're not already. Sit back onto your heels. Place your fingertips in front of your knees. Sit up. This time, take your hands behind you. You're welcome to hold the elbows, place the knuckles together, or take reverse prayer, Pravrita Namaskarasana. As you go, elbows back, shoulder blades into lungs, heels of the hands press. Close your eyes, engage your peripheral vision. Click each toenail into the floor so that you can relax your groins, and we'll keep it slow with Kapalabhati. Exhale, 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 pump. If this is brand new to you, you just keep doing what you can. If you're used to moving the subtle body like this, engage the pelvic floor, engage Mula Bandha, not gripping it, but engaging it. And keep sending this gorgeous energy up, through, and circling in your body. Keep going. Your exhale, your navel comes to your spine. Shoulder blades into lungs, elbows back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale all of the breath out of your body. No breath. Engage your pelvic floor, relax your groins, sit tall. Forehead skin softens down. Imagine this microcosmic orbit from pelvic floor up the back of your spine, through your brain, down the front of your spine. Visualize. We'll inhale in 5, 4, 3, 2. Receive, welcome, invite the breath deep into your body. Fill, flood, hold. Tone the pelvic floor, sit taller, sit sweeter in the face. Five, 4, 3, 2. Exhale the breath out of your body. Unravel the arms, come forward into all fours. Tuck your toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. I don't want to lean into the muscular body too much this morning. Some of you may have a ton of energy, but I actually want to just hang out in the subtle field and make sure with as much lift as you get to your subtle energy, we also help you ground the subtle energy down. So look forward and put your right foot forward to your thumbs. Crawl both hands up onto your waist and rise up into a very simple, yet in my opinion, effective lunge, where the front leg is totally at 90, the back heel is over your toes. And you take maybe a 2-inch bend in the back knee. And then as much as you can, wrap your left bum muscles underneath your sitting bone, and then straighten your knee and take the base of your left belly back. It's going to be your psoas channel there. Lift up from your left belly to your left nipple, to your left eye. And then we're here for about 30 more seconds, and see if you can stabilize the right inner foot down. So there's no dipping to your pinky toe side of your foot. For those of you that would like to, you're welcome to take reverse prayer with the arms so that you set the arms and shoulders up to get the lungs forward. But right now, just let the asymmetrical hips stabilize your energy. All right, now look forward. Back foot is going to step up. Front foot is going to step, right foot is going to step back. And you want a lunge that is 90 degrees in the front leg, so wiggle your toes back. Bend your back knee, hook your seat, carve your low belly back into the spine, lift your heart. Now we're moving subtly and slowly so that the part of your outer leg that wants to fight the pose and win, meaning it'll lift the inner big toe, relax the inner groin, drop the inner knee, and press really firmly into the inner foot. Good, look forward, back foot steps up, top of the mat. Turn your feet to the side of the mat. You can keep the arms as they are. Step out wide to the side of the mat. Look down at your feet, line your heels up perfectly. And now turn your heels in and bend your knees into horse stance. It's getting the downward energy passive through the legs. Nothing fancy. Find your quiet ujjayi again. Straighten your legs, turn your feet, step both feet to the front, in middle of the mat, release your hands down. From here, these next kind of slow squats, what you're gonna do is take your right leg straight out to the side, bend it, and then stretch the left leg straight. As far down as you wanna go is fine. Lift up, step to the center, step the left foot out, straighten the right leg, and squat. Back and forth, side to side. I've got plants I'm contending with here, but take up as much room as you need. You squat low, you straighten the leg, you keep your quiet ujjayi, and you trust your legs. We're gonna keep moving subtly, but right now we just wanna move so much energy through the legs that when we do go subtle, you can also ground. A couple more. Next time you're bent to the right, left leg is straight, stay there. All right, now this is a tricky transition. So the right heel is lifted up, hands are forward. Very gently, one hand can come behind you, sit down. If you need to do a bunch of things to make that happen, I get it. Left hand holds your right shin, grab a hold of the outside of it, arc to your long leg, take your right arm overhead. You can either hold your head or arc over, and if it's not too early, find your foot. Now keep a tug of your right shin with your left hand, and then take your right shin back up to the sky. So the knee faces the sky and you turn. Silent ujjayi, you turn. You turn. You soften your eyes and you turn. Wringing, sponging, clearing out the blood-soaked organs. And unravel, rise up. You can simply switch from seated. You take your right leg out straight. The left leg is in this straight up Marichyasana-like position. Hold on to the shin with the right hand. Arc to the left. And if this is as far as you go, this is great. It's nice work on the spine and liver. You can wrap your left hand overhead, hold head, or reach for the foot. And if you've got the foot, tug your shin, send your left knee back up to the sky, and now turn and rotate. Turn. Silent ujjayi. Rise up. Pull your legs in, hug your knees in towards your chest. Go side saddle, come to all fours. Slide back just for a moment, downward facing dog. All right, now in downward facing dog, your right ankle goes over your left knee, so your legs look like a 4. Come into plank, go left knee and right toes down. Right knee lifts up and sit back into a child's pose with a hip stretch. So as you can see, both of my feet are more like a push-up. And then walk your hands back, settle your chest gently over your shin. Silent ujjayi. Press the mound of your right big toe down and take your inner right groin back. Press the pinky toe mound down on the right foot and take your outer right butt back to the back right corner of your mat. Engage the gentlest action of your pelvic floor. And then from the engagement of your pelvic floor, all the way to the skin of your hips, relax. So it's this very subtle puzzle. If it's too subtle for you, that's okay. But can you keep the lift of your pelvic floor, yet relax the muscles and skin of the outer hips? Very slowly come forward, downward facing dog, right leg lifts up, bend your knee, hang your heel to your seat, open your belly, open the psoas channel, open your right lung. Pigeon, right knee behind your right wrist. Walk your back knee back. Take your hands either side of your hips, so come upright. And now look to your belly button just to get the base of the ribs back. Get the base of the belly back. And then you need not curl here. Simply lift up. And then on your fingertips, turn to about 10:30, 11 o'clock to the left. Now bow down at an angle into that big space that's created on the left-hand side. Your left elbow comes down, but your right fingertips, they walk so far forward, your right elbow is straightened. Okay. Now relax your head, silent ujjayi. Take both ankles and squeeze them towards one another. And relax. Both knees, squeeze them into center. Relax. Now you feel when I ask for that muscular engagement, it lifts your pelvis up. Don't do it with the feet or the legs. Imagine the pelvic floor like a little kegel, engaging. Sitting bones closing like a curtain. Tailbone, pubic bone magnetized towards each other. And see how that creates this very deep inner lift of your pelvis. And now keep that, and if you can, relax the muscles and skin from the center of the hips to the outside edge of the hips. So there's still an inner lift, but an outer softness. Keep the engagement of your pelvic floor. Walk your hands back to center. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Left ankle over top of your right knee. Figure four the legs. Come down into a figure four child's pose. Left knee is off the ground. Chest is resting itself on your shin. Silent ujjayi. Play the width and the depth of the hip from the grounded push of your foot. Take a engaged lift of your pelvic floor that's too strong, so grip it. It's a little dramatic. And then relax it. And see if you can engage the deep muscles of your pelvis in the way subtler manner. It's like just a little whisper of a lift. And then when you get that lift, relax from the core of the pelvis to the skin of the hips. Silent ujjayi, dog. Left leg lifts, bend your knee, hang your heel, open. But it feels so good. Pigeon, Rajakapotasana. Left knee wider, back leg walks back. Walk your hands back, walk your belly back, prop up. Take your spine and move it to the back plane of the body. With your shoulder blades, move your lungs to the front plane of your body. And freeing yourself up from having to spend so much energy in digestion, watch how much more energy is available to cleanse, to regenerate, to build. You pivot to about 2 o'clock on the right-hand side. Your right elbow comes down and you take a beautiful long lift of the left fingertips away from your waist. Left elbow is straight and bow. So in pigeon, because there's external rotation, forward flexion, and flexion of the knee, What we usually ask for is a squeeze in of the legs. So squeeze your ankles, squeeze your knees, and feel how it lifts your pelvis about 2 or 3 inches. If you're new to the practice, you just stay like that, otherwise relax. And we still want that lift, but not so dramatically from the legs. So tone your pelvic floor like a little Kegel. Sitting bones close like curtains on a stage. Pubic bone, tailbone magnetize up like this purse string draws up into your belly. Feel that upward lift of the diaphragm of your pelvic floor. Keep it, yet relax the outer muscles and skin of your buttocks and hips. Silent Ujjayi. Walk your elbows back. Sit down onto your left seat. Swing your right leg around. Take Agni Stambhasana if you're able to. That's ankle over knee pose. And now if this just does not work for you, even with a pillow stuffed underneath your lifted knee, then you're really welcome in this series to come figure 4. But if you go figure 4, please make your lower back lift in and up, okay? From Agni Stambhasana, fingertips on either side of you. And then what you do before we bow is round your back just for a moment. So almost like you're trying to tuck your tailbone under. Get the top of the IT band there. And then begin to tilt your pelvis forward. Pubic bone, sitting bones start to draw forward, in and down towards the floor. And now you bow any amount. If your eyes are open, you're not getting lost in form. And if your eyes are closed, you're not getting lost in thought. So the eyes become incredible navigators of your attention and your pose. A silent Ujjayi begins to settle the fluctuations of your mind. And then we're here for about a minute. So if you need to come up and come in and start to pulse the pose, that's fine. Yet find in a fairly deep external rotation hip opening, this inner lift from pelvic floor up the central channel of your spine that lengthens your head like the way a tortoise comes out of a shell. And you keep this incredible upward lift like the way a wellspring sends water up, like the way a tree draws water up. And can you keep that, but relax from the muscles to the skin of the hips? So there's this incredible deep inner body tone. It tonifies the organs, it tonifies the nervous system. Yet something is relaxing in the grip of your hips. If I'm moving way too subtly for you, then and just ignore it and get the stretch and keep your breath. That's perfect. And if you're with me, get subtler, softer, and quieter. Without digestion, without food, the body's going to be really conversive to the subtler realms for you. Rise up. Switch slowly. For me, it's right on the bottom, left on top. If you are opposite of that, that's fine. But start with your fingers back and tuck. And if you need a figure 4 pose, it's the exact same thing. Neither pose is better. Figure 4 is great to protect your knees. This one just is a little easier to go deeper because gravity helps you fold, but they're both the same. Tilt your pelvis forward, come to the front of the pubic bone, and any amount come into your hip opener. Now, what I'll have you do on this one, if you need your hands forward to prop you, use it. Otherwise, take both hands to the head of your thigh bones, fingers in. Take your hands so more strong than you think you should and push your thighs down, in, and back. Your sitting bones will want to lift, don't let them, but ground your thigh bones. And you can stay like that, or if you can keep your thigh bones heavy, then release your hands. Silent Ujjayi, slower and deeper. And if you do this, just relax into the floor. You'll feel yourself get quite weighted. Yet what you want is, with the weighted, a sense of levity, a sense of elation that comes energetically. So flex your feet, relax your thighs, engage a very slight Kegel where you draw up the walls of the genitalia. And then the sitting bones close like curtains, tailbone and pubic bone magnetize towards one another. And from that wellspring, every joint of your spine tractions up, away from the one beneath it. You telescope your spine into the midbrain the way a tortoise pushes its sweet head out of a shell. And with this upward lift of your central channel, relax eyes, jaw, and the hips, the muscles of your hips. Pelvic floor stays up and engaged. From the muscles to the skin of the hips, relax. Keep the upward lift. Go ahead and rise. Undo your legs. Please lie down so that you are bent kneed, feet sitting bone distance apart. Arms down by your side. Lift your hips an inch, slide one hand underneath, then slide the other hand on top. So the palms of the hands are pancaked, one on top of the other. And the sacrum, the keystone between your pelvic halves, is resting on one of the hands that's resting on the other hand. So long story short, you're sitting on your hands, palms flat down. Now keep your hips exactly as they are, don't lift them, but feel like you're attempting to lift them. So you'll feel this incredible band of back muscles. You'll feel your feet press. It'll be a little lighter on the hands as you feel all of these back core muscles engage. Now keep this, engage your pelvic floor. Press the hands down, lift your heart. Now lift your hips all the way up. Interlace your hands underneath of you for Setu Bandhasana, Chadushpadasana, little bridge. Press your wrists, press your skull, weight your feet. And then if you already lost the musculature we just engaged, low back engages up, Kegel pelvic floor engages in. And now this time, the upward lift of your energy actually goes down because it roots down into your lungs and heart, down into your throat. So keep this upward lift of the pelvis, even though it's sending energy like a waterfall down your spine, nourishing your heart and lungs, nourishing your thyroid, parathyroids. Wrists are down, skull is down. Buoy up your lungs. 5 more seconds. Keep everything engaged. Pelvic floor, low back. Release your hands. Lower your seat first. Then lower your hand, and then lower the back of your chest. Pause. One more time, please. Lift your hips, pancake your hands underneath of you, sit on the back of your hands. Don't lift your hips, but imagine like you're trying to, so you feel your buttocks and your back TVAs engage up. The nourishment of the spine with this back core support is incredible. Keep that, tone your pelvic floor. Interlace your hands, heart and lungs buoy up on the power of your body, lift. Press your skull, but widen your face. Pump like a fresh spring of water, the base of the pelvic floor, to move energy up, which is down your spine into your lungs, heart, and throat. We become masterful moving the bones and muscles in yoga so that slowly by slowly we can start to direct and have choice over the subtle energies, the winds of the body. Release your hands, your seat comes down first, then your heart follows. Rest. The sensation after the pose is as prominent as in the middle of the pose. Roll to one side. Use your hands, slowly push yourself up. Seated, cross-legged position. The leg that most easily folds in tightest. The second one comes right on top of that. Hands fold neatly in your lap and place yourself with so much care, like the placement of your body is akin to the way you place objects on an altar, hands placed specifically. Body weight over pelvic floor, the delicate skull on the pedestal of the spine, sacred objects on the altar. Place yourself specifically. Take your left hand over your right knee, right hand comes back behind you, twist. Even the way the hand touches the knee and the other hand touches the floor, like objects on an altar. Back to center and switch. Right hand over your left hand back behind you, twist. Now moving this subtly and slowly so that, different than a lot of the yoga practices, nothing needs to be dramatic in order to be felt. We can be as lured in, as seduced into presence through subtle as we are through grand. Back to center, fold your hands. Sit tall. The upper eyelids, they drape down, they close to meet the lower. The forehead skin smooths down towards the eyebrows. And you travel down either visually or sensationally into the base of your pelvis. And you relax. From the core of the pelvis to the skin of the hips, radiate like a sun, relaxation. And now see, from the core of the pelvis to the skin of the hips, you can stay relaxed. And without recruiting outer musculature, create the subtle inward and upward drawing and lift of the pelvic diaphragm. Sitting bones magnetize, pubic bone, tailbone magnetize, this little Kegel lift of the genitalia. And see if you can just stay there for a moment, right in front of your sacrum. 2 inches beneath your belly button, right in that pocket where the housing dwelling of the Kundalini Shakti is. Relax your eyes and simply dwell in the wellspring of life force that you're pumping from the pelvic floor right in front of the sacrum. If you know how the sacrum draws in, like a magnetic pull towards your belly. And find a breath that is 1 count deeper on both your inhale and your exhale. My friends here that know how to maintain this lift, please do so. If you need to relax and come into it, that's fine. With your in-breath, you draw this amazing life force energy up the back of your spine bathe your middle brain and cascade it down the front of your spine, bathing your organs. It regenerates in the reservoir of the sacrum, and you continue this microcosmic orbit up the back, down the front. If you can't feel it, imagine it. If it's too subtle, you simply sit. And notice on the upward and downward lift and waterfall, if there's anywhere you distract or skip. The pelvic floor starts the wellspring. The breath creates the circulation. Your imagination makes it so. Now, next time, either on the up or the down, you passed past the heart. Stay there. And you may need to relax the pelvic floor and engage again, but this time now rest, just like we did in the reservoir of the sacral energy. Rest in the reservoir of the heart. And imagine, like a reservoir, it beginning to fill. Life force filling the reservoir of the heart again. Be as imaginative, as visually intense as you'd like to be. And then let all that heart energy maintain. Go back down to the pelvis, and one more round. Begin the lift of the pelvic floor and your microcosmic orbit up the back, down the front. When it moves up, it's the way a tree draws water up from the soil. When it moves down, it's this cascade waterfall of energy down the front of your spine. Relax your muscles, let the inner infrastructure do this. And the next time you go up and through your brain, middle back brain, stay there. Like the reservoir of the sacral, the reservoir of the heart. Now imagine you starting to flood, soak, nourish your visionary energy, your hormonal stability, your crown source energy with its amazing vital life force. Like your skull bones, the sutras have to loosen a little. The brain gets to expand. The fluid gets to rush in the brain. And then imagine as you exhale and relax, this incredible irrigation from the reservoir of the brain just trickles down your throat, down your spine, your arms, your legs. And for the last 3 minutes, do nothing like we began. Simply sit. On your own altar, the throne of your own existence, simply sit. And start to grow this very sweet intolerance for distraction of the mind that takes you away from the subtle perceptive awareness of your pranic channels, of your chi. The body, this remarkable ally, very willing to take cues, especially from a place of kindness. silently, without moving your lips or your tongue, silently say to your body, perfect harmonic balance. I come into alignment with perfect harmonic balance. Immune system, perfect harmonic balance. Hormonal glandular system, perfect harmonic balance. And this symphony of organs, systems, glands, starting to play in perfect attunement. Perfect harmonic balance. Your hands come together into Anjali Mudra, the heart in front of the heart. Lift your heart, bow your head. To the subtle direction, the subtle cues, the places of the dream, the places of the intuition. May you open to the subtle today to really hear the deeper resources of mind, body, heart, and spirit. And to each of you, have a wonderful day 4, 5, 6. Good day, namaste.